The gym. The gym is a place that some people get brought into that space by parents or family members. Other people get there through like friends. Other people get there through social media and being inspired by other people. And other people never get there because either they don't need it or they would need it, but they just for some reason don't get there, right? So today I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about my fitness journey and the relationship that I developed with the gym and everything like that. So there's some important stuff to be discussed in this video. Well, let's start from the fact that I used to be a student athlete up until I graduated from college, but before that, of course, I was going to school and separately also swimming. So yeah, and we did some dry land when I was really young also, and then around the age of 15 I started going to the weight room like for real, and doing all the big main lifts, squat, bench, deadlifts, rows, clean, jerks, snatches, all this powerlifting stuff slash fundamentals, flexibility, and all this together incorporated. But why am I actually mentioning this? Because I used to be somebody who would take certain things from the gym to compensate from other things that I felt like I was missing. So that's when it became a little bit not the most healthy. And we're gonna get there. But, just to get a start so we all on, the correct timeline. And also being a swimmer, you're basically in your Speedos always almost naked. So there was a lot of like people that I trained with who developed like body dysmorphia. So basically the reality doesn't match like what you really look like, And so I can bring the examples on a lot of bodybuilders and people that go to the gym, the bigger they get, the bigger they want to get, like it's never enough. And it can become like a problem, and some people, as we can see, also end up using certain substances just to get as big as they can and stuff like that. But it all just starts from childhood and complexes that the person develops in their mind, mostly, I think, and the way they believe they're supposed to like match a certain standard to like have value or whatever. So anyway, I used to be really, really skinny when I was a kid, and I also hit puberty very late. I grew up in Italy, so for instance, when I was like 12, 13, I swear, like, a lot of guys in my class, they already had beards and like just miles ahead of me in terms of growth and hormones and testosterone, whatever. So I always felt like a lot behind, and so that added a lot of layers into my mind over time, and that's why eventually I took certain decisions in the gym also, especially when I ended my swimming career. But basically, yeah, I just grew up physically a lot later than a lot of other peers. so I was a lot behind, and then when I grew up, I kind of gained the lead in a way. I mean, in terms of facial hair, I don't really have much, but for the rest, like bone density and size and everything, I really done a tremendous shift, both due to genetics and also due to training and nutrition. But anyway, a lot of people that you see at the gym is not really like so healthy. Even doesn't matter how good they look, it's about a balance between mind and body, right? For me, I started finding the real balance between mind and body slightly more than a year ago. And it started from the fact that I used to go to the gym to be as big as possible, so I would track all my lifts, how many calories, and during the day I would just eat what I had to eat. It didn't matter if I was hungry or if I wasn't hungry. I would just push the food through because I needed the calories and be in the bulk and whatever. And yeah, I was rarely hungry really, but I was eating anyway. And I realized that, okay, maybe I have to change this approach a little bit. What else? Before that, the heaviest I had been was 140 kilos when I was in the US up to 2022. And then I started noticing that I couldn't keep up with like my old volume and workouts because I was doing so many sets, volume, pretty heavy weight also. And yeah, my body started telling me, that's kind of a lot, you need to slow it down a bit. But I didn't, and I was just pushing. The real change for me happened when I started going to Thai boxing. This is a picture of me end of 2024, November 2024, so it's about 15 months ago. This was the heaviest, the biggest that I've ever been. I don't know if you can see here, but I was about 144 kgs in here, super bulky, and just that was the way I wanted to be, right? That was the way I wanted to be. But I realized that I was paying the price with the conditioning and a lot of other things. I'm trying to see if I find other pictures in the meantime. Let's see. But yeah, basically, yeah, I realized with the Thai boxing that the weight that I was carrying, it was not functional. There was no it was just like putting a bag on your shoulder and walking around. I gained absolutely no benefit in my life to squat 200 kilos for reps or all the stuff that I was doing. It was only then that I understood, my priority is different now. Now in December, well, I'm gonna weigh myself only once a year because I'm not too fixated on a certain number. I'm just listening to my body with the training, with the nutrition, with the recovery. And this December I was 121 kilos, so that was a pretty big drop compared to last year. And I don't know, I think in 12 months I aim maybe to be around 110. I think, I don't know, we'll see what the body does. again, I let the body do what it needs to do without interfering too much. So, but I've gained a lot more speed, conditioning. I'm just lighter. I move around different now, you know. And yeah, that's been the main change for me. Of course, I miss the good old days sometimes, because, you know, when you get a pump at the gym, or I mean, I'm still training, but you know, I'm not yeah, I won't be like this anymore, unfortunately, but I have gained other advantages, which as you get older, you start to value longevity and how you feel, and not overloading your body for nothing, and your nervous system and everything. But yeah, it's about developing a healthy relationship with the nutrition, with the training, with the way you want to look, everything. But the way I did it before, even you see the videos that I posted on my channel earlier, I was in tremendous physical shape, but it was just nowhere as good as it is now. Like, I was looking really good, but there were no advantages. I think the mind-body connection wasn't so good. It wasn't feeling good either. So yeah, basically a lot of people that you see at the gym, they don't feel good about themselves, even if they're huge with veins popping and stuff like that. I used to be in a similar position. Of course, I've never taken steroids or anything. I've always been fully natural, and I've done the best that I could. But yeah, I feel a lot better now that I don't look as good as I used to before. You know, it's just about being healthier. So yeah, I invite everybody to evaluate their fitness journey. You know, I'm 26, so of course 5 years ago I was a lot quicker in my recovery. I'm still young, but I feel the difference in my body for sure. And yeah, you know, when you're 26, realistically speaking, that's the youngest you'll ever be from right now, right? So it's only gonna get more difficult for the body to recuperate and all this going forward. So that's what I'm saying mainly. Yeah, in terms of strength, of course, my PRs and all this, now it's not even comparable to what I used to be able to do. I'm trying to see if I have some other things to show you in regards, maybe, but yeah, you know, realistically speaking, even deadlifting like over 200, like, what does it give you really in real life? You're just putting yourself under massive pressure, and that's it. So yeah, subscribe, comment, let's get together on this journey, and enjoy it as it comes.